If you're about to embark on a corporate video project, it's a really exciting time, isn't it? Full of possibilities and creativity. It can also be a little overwhelming. I've been making corporate videos for other businesses for over 20 years. I can't even believe it. And while it's always a fun process, I do see some people like making the same mistakes over and over. So today I'm going to lay out for you the most common mistakes businesses make when trying to make a corporate video. And I know you're not going to make those mistakes because you're going to take my advice. The first mistake is to not have a plan. I won't even work with a client if they don't have a clear vision about what the video is going to be used for and where it's going to live and how long it needs to be. Having a plan includes having a script or a list of interview questions or a storyboard or a combination of all of those things. Another thing that a good plan includes is a shot list and a schedule for the day. Another mistake a lot of people make is being really inflexible about where interviews are going to be shot. It happens pretty frequently that I show up to a shoot day and someone has a very specific idea of wanting to be shot in their office with this particular thing in the background, but I have to tell you, what the camera sees is so different from what your eye sees, and you'd be shocked at how little of a background often you can see in an interview shot. So I would say have some ideas ready for your producer or videographer, or director of photography, whatever you want to call it, but also listen to their advice because they know how things are going to look on camera and they can definitely steer you in the right direction. So don't be inflexible when it comes to where you're going to be shooting things. The next mistake I see all the time is wanting a voice that sounds just like James Earl Jones or Morgan Freeman on your corporate video. I've never had a client that I couldn't talk out of having that like big booming type voice on their video be satisfied with the results. I mean, they always sound disappointed because no one's going to have that Morgan Freeman or James Earl Jones voice unless you have major dollars, and you probably don't. Instead, you end up with that like old movie trailer kind of voice, and it never sounds exciting or fresh enough. I recommend going in a totally different direction. Find someone that sounds younger and has a lot of enthusiasm that is much more current than the old big booming voice trope that we think is going to work really well, but in reality just doesn't. The next mistake I see all the time is trying to fit too many people in your video. If you have a 90-second video that you're trying to hit and you want to stuff 5 people into that video, they each get to talk for 18 seconds. Do the math, I'm not lying. Having too many people shot always leads to like political problems later down the road because you don't have time for everyone. And then a lot of times people will say to me, well, what if so-and-so's not good? I want to have a backup. But then in the end, they like insist on cramming that extra person into the finished video because they feel bad that someone took the time out of their day to be shot when really they should end up on the cutting room floor. Take my advice. Fewer people is better. The fewer people you have in your video, the more each person gets to say, and the less it becomes a lot about wrangling personalities and more about like good content and storytelling. The next mistake you can make, and I usually head this one off, but if I'm not there to help you, you might need to know this, is not getting release forms signed even from your employees. You might think, oh, this employee's great, they're never gonna leave. You never know what's gonna happen in the future, and you will be glad that you have that signed release in your file folder in like, I don't know, 3 or 5 years from now. You can find a lot of on-camera releases online really easily. Just do a quick Google search and get yourself covered. Another mistake I come across all the time is people trying to cram way too many details into a short video, and they really get like bogged down in the minutia. A video should be short and fun and really like snackable, so you can't talk about every little thing that your product or service does in that video. You really need to be objective and highlight maybe 3 different points. I run into this a lot with entrepreneurs because they're so excited about their businesses and they've thought of every aspect of their business and they want to tell you all about it, but a video is not the place to hit all those points. And so really, if you are having a hard time thinking about what those like 3 top bullets are, maybe ask someone to help you. Now, before I get to my last and best tip for you. If you're enjoying this video, if you feel like you're learning something, give me that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you never miss a future upload. The last and probably most important mistake I often see made with corporate videos is not getting decision makers involved early enough in the process. There is no worse feeling than cutting together a video, having a plan and the script and doing all the editing and having it look amazing, and then turning it over and showing it to the CEO and then like Monday morning quarterbacking it and this isn't what I wanted. It is the worst, most frustrating feeling. So you really just want to get buy-in from your entire team from the outset, and anyone that's going to have a say on what this finished video is going to look like should be involved in the process pretty early on in the beginning. So yeah, those are the mistakes in my 20 plus years of producing experience that I see made all the time. Like I said, you're not going to make those mistakes because you watched this video, so good for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that. I have a whole playlist with more corporate video tips for you right here. You should definitely check those out. I'll see you again.